Welcome back to Michigan Storm Chasers. I am Ryan. It's been a few days since our last update video. It's high time we hop on here and start talking about what's to come here because there is a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and dive in. Before I get going though, today's sponsor of the video, it is Top Gun Roofing and Exteriors. They are based in the West Michigan area. For roofing and exterior needs, get a hold of Top Gun. Numbers on your screen there, 616-900-8033. And as always, thank you to Top Gun Roofing and Exteriors for sponsoring us here at MSC and being today's spotlight sponsor here on YouTube. All right, let's talk about it. We have heat, storms, and perhaps even severe weather chances upcoming. Let's start with the current pattern. Why is it so hot? That is because we are in a ridge pattern here. The jet stream is up over into Canada, and that allows heat and humidity to build into the central and the eastern part of the U.S. That is why we are so hot here. All right. Now, because we're so hot and humid, each day this week is going to feature high levels of storm fuel. That does not mean anything unless we have a trigger or a source of lift to get storms to go up and fire. So we're going to be really unstable this week. It's just a matter of how much lift we can get for storms to pop up. Let's go ahead and start here with the CSU learning model. This is not a forecast. It is not the SPC forecast. It is just a AI-based model here. It kind of puts together two models called the FV3 and the GEFS, the ensembles, and it spits out a probability-based forecast for what it thinks severe weather chances may be here. So let's start with Tuesday here. Do take note, this is not the SPC. I want to highlight that as best as possible here. But this model says 15 to 30% chance of severe weather happening here in yellow. This is for Tuesday. And around that in that brown color is that 5 to 15% chance. So a low end risk there and perhaps a little bit higher risk further south toward Detroit. This is for Tuesday. For Wednesday, probability is low, but still there. We go into the Thursday time frame, that 15% probability plus range comes back there. We go into the Friday time frame. Guess what? There's a little portion there close to the Ohio border of a 15% plus probability. We go into the weekend here. Saturday returns to a low probability with higher probs off to our west. And then for Sunday, that shifts into Michigan here. So the takeaway from the CSU learning model here is that, hey, we have multiple days coming up here that may have potential for severe weather. And why is that? All right, we go back to that pattern here. We're going to switch this over into the basic European model. We're going to look at something called the most unstable CAPE. This is why we have storm chances here. And this is, again, one of many factors we look at for pop-up storms and severe weather. But take a look at how much instability is around here. Here's today. This is extreme levels of instability here across the upper Midwest, upper Great Lakes region. But if we zoom in here to Michigan, we kind of zoom this in to the, let's go ahead and go Great Lakes region here. Let's go a bit further in. There we go, upper Midwest. As we move through each day, here's Sunday, here's Monday. This continues to slowly drift south, but do take note, the lower part of Michigan here, this is now Tuesday, it stays in a very unstable environment here through the entire week. Here's Wednesday, here's Thursday, there's Friday here, and then finally here's Saturday where we get a little bit of a break there. And then Sunday, a resurgence of that back into next week, a possibility as well. I'll have to watch that time frame as well. But also with this ridge-like pattern here, going back to what I had, if I can, let's go and go back here. There we go. This pattern is going to break down. We want to be on this part of the jet stream, so to speak, to be active in terms of severe weather with complexes and line segments. But as we move into the week this week, that ridge shifts southward, and that brings us a favorable environment here for ridge riders or storm complexes throughout the upcoming weeks. So in addition to it being hot and humid this week, we're also going to have chances for pop-up storms. Each day may have a pop-up storm chance with late breeze boundaries close to our lakes like Michigan, Erie, Superior, Huron. Those are possible, but also throughout the week, we could have chances at complexes that ride this ridge into our region, and that is primarily a damaging wind risk. We do not have any days to watch right now, but the pattern is very, very favorable for this. Would not be shocked to see 1, 2, maybe even 3 days of severe chances due to this pattern here as that ridge shifts to the south and brings a favorable environment for storm complexes, and if complexes do form, severe weather. Outside of this, though, we do have severe chances starting with Monday here. Tomorrow, a slight risk, surprisingly. Not really surprisingly, but it hasn't been talked about much by us here at MSC. This is the first we're going to mention it here on YouTube. A slight risk, level 2 out of 5 in place there for much of central and eastern UP, as well as northern lower Michigan. That's a level 2 out of 5. In dark green, it's a level 1 out of 5. Marginal extends down to about Flint, Grand Rapids area, and extends back toward the Houghton, Gogebic, and Ontonagon County areas. So a large portion of Michigan is in a risk, but also the heavily populated areas of Detroit, Lansing, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Ann Arbor, Adrian, Monroe, not in that severe risk currently. Let's take a look at the model for tomorrow here, the HRRR. This is the first day we're going to focus in on. We're going to do daily updates, so do take note. We're going to do briefings, updates, so stay tuned one day at a time. Let's get through the week, all right? Starting with Monday, here is the model. Here's Monday morning, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., here's noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and by that 2 p.m. time frame, peak heating. We have this not complex, but we have this piece of lift energy working through here that's going to pop up, or could pop up, some isolated showers and storms here by the time we get to mid-afternoon. Here's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Sorry, let's go ahead and back this up here. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10, 11, midnight. And by about that midnight time frame, the threat's over. So 2 p.m. to about midnight on Monday here. Chances of thunderstorms, some could be strong or severe up there in the UP and also that northern part, northwestern part of lower Michigan at risk here. So hazards for tomorrow, damaging wind, number 1, 15 to 29% chance of damaging wind within a 25-mile point. The large hail is a lower risk here. It's a 5 to 14% chance there. And then also a risk for a tornado is on the table as well. It's a low end risk though, 2 to 4% there in that dark green colored area. So all hazards possible tomorrow, but damaging winds is your primary concern with any storms that may pop up through the afternoon and evening into your Monday night. So that is your forecast. Going to Tuesday, that risk shifts southward. It is currently a marginal risk for the Grand Rapids, the Flint, Lansing, Kalamazoo, Detroit areas. Although storms are possible up to the UP, strong to severe weather should stay further south on Tuesday. But we're not going to focus on Tuesday until we get through Monday, because this pattern is very, very dependent on how the day before plays out. So to give you guys a set forecast for Tuesday would be a disservice to you guys, but just keep in mind severe weather chances may exist each day this week, and that is not an over-exaggeration. They could be low-end risks, some could be high-end risks. Just stay tuned. Let's take it day at a time. All right. In the meantime, stay hydrated, stay cool out there. Going back here to that pattern here, we're going to flip this over here to the apparent temperature. It's hot. It's going to be hot for today, for your Monday, for your Tuesday. A bit of a break for the Wednesday through the weekend time frame, but still hot nonetheless here. The heat index today, flip this over here to what we call RTMA, real-time mesoscale analysis. Zoom in here to Michigan. Your current heat index out there is in the mid-hundreds for a large portion of Michigan, even getting close to 106, 107 down by Detroit. So it's hot out there. Take it seriously, stay hydrated, stay cool, take lots of breaks, check in on the elderly, the vulnerable, bring your pets inside, take precautions. Heat is a killer. Treat it seriously. All right. I am Ryan. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for a briefing on Monday afternoon and evening severe risk. I'll catch you guys then. In the meantime, you guys better be keeping safe and hydrated. We'll see you guys next time.